Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Neha Tulshan. I'm so glad you're stopping by. Today's video is part of a Lawn Fawn Fans Spring Hop. If you're new to my channel and do not know about this hop, we are a group of people who love Lawn Fawn and bring you beautiful inspirations every quarter. We started this hop last year and it's been a huge success, all because of you all. So thank you so much for liking all our videos. And as always, we have a giveaway for this video too. Our sponsor for this video is Only One Life Creations. They're generously giving away $50 shopping spree to their store, and I'll talk more about the giveaway later in the video. Now let's dig into the card making. Today's card project is a double interactive card with both reveal wheel and swish and pop pull tab mechanism in one slimline card. And before I get started to the process video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more crafty videos. And hit that notification bell to get notified every time I upload a new video. I started with die cutting a few panels for my card background. I started with die cutting the reveal wheel mechanism. I'm using the main die from the reveal wheel die set. And along with that, I am using the reveal wheel build a house add-on die to create that window in the center of the reveal wheel panel. Next, I die cut this house from the build a house die set, and I also die cut this green panel for my hills using the largest rectangle die from the small stitched rectangle die set from Lawn Fawn. Next, from that green panel, I die cut these hills using the hillside border dies from Lawn Fawn. I used the rectangle die because I wanted to have that stitching detail on the sides of my hills similar to the reveal wheel panel, and the largest rectangle die from the small stitched rectangle die set from Lawn Fawn matches perfectly with the main die from the reveal wheel die set, and this way it was easy for me to add stitching details all around for all my layers. This is how all the layers look once all put together. The base panel measures 3 3/4 by 8 3/4, and I also die cut a road using a gray pattern paper from road border die from Lawn Fawn. And all the pattern papers that you see here are from the Spling Fling pattern paper pack from Lawn Fawn. I decided to use pattern papers today instead of ink blending, which I usually do, because I just wanted to do something different and show you how you can use your pattern papers very easily to create backgrounds for your cards. You can even choose to use colored cardstock instead of going for pattern papers if you think pattern papers are too busy for your design. But I happen to like these pattern papers. They don't have very busy design. They are really simple and they just worked for this card. Since I have so many layers for my background, I am trying to put them together and taping them with post-it tapes to make sure that they are placed perfectly. For my grass border, I die cut cilantro cardstock using grass border die from Lawn Fawn. I didn't use the pattern paper there because I wanted to have a little variation between the grass and the hill. And between the grass and the hill, I wanted to add another layer of dirt or ground. So I used a white cardstock that I die cut using the rectangle die from the small stitched rectangle dies and cut it to size to fit between the grass and the hill. And the roads on the hill, I decided not to use the gray pattern paper and instead die cut that using the white cardstock. Now I'll start with assembling the house first. I'm starting with adding a yellow cardstock behind the window of the house. This will be the light inside the house. The window frame is die cut using the light pink cardstock from Serbert paper pack from Lawn Fawn, and I'm gluing it in place using my liquid glue. For the door of the house, I die cut it twice using speckled egg cardstock and the dark grey cardstock from Lawn Fawn, and I trimmed just the frame of the door from the dark grey die cut and glued it to the speckled egg die cut, creating a two-colored door. Rest of the elements of the house is also die cut using the light pink cardstock, and I'm gluing them in place one after another. The stairs are die cut using the dark grey cardstock, and I'm gluing it just below the door. Next, I'm assembling the mailbox, the bird water fountain, and also the flower window box, which are all from the Build a House Spring Add-on Die Set. There are a lot of teeny tiny elements here that I mostly die cut using colored cardstock, and few I die cut using white cardstock, and you will see me coloring them using my Copic markers. I love that teeny tiny envelope that you get tucked inside your mailbox. So cute. Here I'm doing some simple coloring and assembling my flower window box, and I'll glue that just beneath the window. Next, for my bird water fountain, I die cut it using white cardstock and colored the water part using Copic marker, and I'm gluing it to the fountain. For the bird, I colored it using red Copic markers and glued the bird to the fountain. I'm using Nuvo crystal drops in black color to add the eyes to the bird and the door knob. Now I'm assembling the rest of the house. For the shingles here, I wanted to add a little bit of layer to it, but not a lot of dimension. So I die cut one more of it from white cardstock and gluing it behind the light pink die cut along with a thin strip of white cardstock to give a little bit of dimension towards the bottom of the shingle. Next, gluing the roof, and lastly we'll glue the top window frame. I chose this window frame that has doors that opens towards the outside of the house. I really like the look of it. Next, I'm ink blending the ground and road part of the scene using frayed burlap distress oxide ink and my blending brushes. I sped up this part of the video quite a bit because it was very simple blending that I did here. And with this, I finished assembling all the background elements for my card. Next, I'll work on my first interactive element of this card, that's the reveal wheel mechanism. Here I have die cut the scalloped circle using the reveal wheel die from white cardstock. And here, with the help of a brad, I'm putting together the circle and the template. The template is made for the reveal wheel build a house add-on, so that I can do some stamping for the reveal wheel window for my house. I'm stamping 4 images from the tiny Friends stamp set from Lawn Fawn using Gina K amalgam ink, as I'm gonna use Copic colors to color all these images. And the template is working as a guide for me to stamp these images in correct places on this scalloped circle. Once done stamping, I'll remove the template and start coloring my images. I'm using YR23 and Y19 to color around these images to show that there is light inside the house. And then I decided to color my complete scalloped circle using Y19 to get that beautiful yellow scalloped circle for the interactive element. I'm not sharing how I colored these tiny Friends images, as I did pretty simple coloring here. Now to assemble the reveal wheel, there is also this small circle that you die cut to create the mechanism. Now I'm attaching my small circle behind the scalloped circle using a brad, making sure the brad is not too tightly closed. Adding some foam squares behind the small circle, removing the backing of those foam squares, and now lining up the scalloped circle with the window of my front panel. When you die cut the scalloped circle, the die actually embosses these lines on the scalloped circle that helps you line up the scalloped circle with the window. Once happy with the alignment, I'll take another reveal wheel panel that I die cut using white cardstock and line my front panel and my back panel together, gluing the scalloped circle to the behind panel. Everything seems to be working nicely. So I'll add some foam squares around the reveal wheel scalloped circle, making sure I'm not blocking the movement of the scalloped circle, and then remove the backing of all the foam squares and glue the front panel to it. Now my reveal wheel element is all done. So I'm starting to glue the rest of the elements around the reveal wheel element. I glued the road to the top hill. Now I'm gluing the grass to my reveal wheel panel along with the dirt ground. Now I'm gluing down the house, lining up the window. I'm so happy with how it turned out. It's just so cute. Gluing down the bird water fountain and also the mailbox. You can just stop here and create an A2 size card. This card is like 2 cards in one. And if you choose to recreate it, you can either create the whole thing or you can split them into 2 cards. Gluing the fence that I die cut using dark grey cardstock from Build a House Spring Add-on Die Set. Now the top part is all done. Let's work on the second interactive element. For this, I'm die cutting some holes on the bottom part of the top hill using the die from Swish and Pull Tab die set from Lawn Fawn. And before I work further on my interactive element, I first stamped and colored this image from some bunny stamp set. This bunny image from some bunny stamp set is perfect for this swish and pull interactive element. It looks like as if the bunny is jumping from one side of the hill to the other. I die cut this pull tab using light yellow cardstock from Lawn Fawn twice and glued them together for extra support. I also die cut this other piece using clear sheet, and now I am putting them together using two brads. You can see the clear sheet has two holes. One gets connected with the pull tab and other with the background panel. You can use any of those holes to attach the brad depending on how you want your elements to move. Once I have all my pieces ready, I'll start assembling my card. Here I trimmed off a small piece of blue pattern paper similar to my sky, and I'm adhering it to my base panel. I did not want any white peeking through the interactive panels, but I forgot about the bottom part of the card, and later you'll see me fix it. So if you are redoing this design, make sure you cover the complete background panel with the pattern paper or cardstock of your choice if you do not like the white peeking through the interactive elements. To glue the top layer of hill, I added one layer of foam tape as I had to match that layer with my top reveal wheel layer. Now I'm gluing the road on the bottom hill, and here I'm lining up the die with my pull tab, and this will create an opening for the recipient to pull the tab. Now I'm adding some doubled up foam tape around the pull tab mechanism, making sure I'm not restricting the motion. Also added a layer of foam tape on top part of the hill and now gluing it in place. This is when I realized that the bottom white panel shows through the pull tab. Good that the hill was not completely glued to the foam tape. I slide the pull tab mechanism down, pulled out the foam tape and glued a little bit of pattern paper using some liquid glue, and now I can glue the hill to the foam tape. If I recreate this card, I'll not forget to add a pattern paper to my base panel and also add a layer of cardstock beneath these pattern papers, as these pattern papers are really thin and creating a pull tab mechanism on these can be a little hard. Since I have two layers of foam tape beneath this hill, my pull tab is actually sinking. So to avoid that, I added a two layer of foam tape without removing one side of the backing just beneath the pull tab to give it extra support. Now it works fine, but it's just a little bigger. So I carefully removed it and trimmed it and glued it back in place. Sorry, went a little off camera here, but I had to see where I'm gluing the foam tape. Now pushing the pull tab all the way in, I will trim off the excess and glue the tab that I die cut using pattern paper. Next, using some mini glue dot, I'll glue down the bunny to the clear pull tab, making sure I'm happy with the placement. And to make sure that it's secure there, I'll glue a thin strip of cardstock behind it, sandwiching the clear tab in between. This actually makes the pull tab work more smoothly. And now I'm trimming off the excess clear sheet and my swish and pull tab mechanism is all ready. Now for rest of the images on my card, I stamped and colored those images off camera. I used different images from different stamp sets. This egg and grass border is from the Simply Celebrate Spring stamp set. I really like this stamp set. From this one image, I can create 3-4 different images that I can use to decorate my card. Other stamp sets that I used are Butterfly Kisses stamp set, Extra Amazing Easter stamp set, and some Bunny stamp set. I love that these different stamp sets worked perfectly for my card. Now that my card front is almost done, I'm gluing it to a 4x9-inch white card base with dark blue cardstock on top. This added a beautiful border framing my card front. Now adding that arrow near the reveal wheel scalloped circle for the recipient to know that it's an interactive element. Next, for my sentiment, I'm using the same dark blue cardstock as my matte layer. I'm stamping the sentiment wishing you a fun using clear ink, and I poured some white embossing powder and heat set it using my heat tool. Here I'm trimming off the sentiment using my guillotine trimmer, and now I'm separating the sentiment wishing you and a fun in my scissors. I'm just gonna use one part of the sentiment wishing you and gluing it to the front of my card. Next, I'm using my white gel pen and adding 2 dots just near the U and also adding highlights to all my images. I retouched eyes of all the critters using my black gel pen and also added shadows beneath all the images using my cool grey Copic marker. And to finish off the sentiment, I stamped Amazing Day to the inside of my card. And that's it, my card is all done. Now about the giveaway, we have a $50 giveaway sponsored by Only One Life Creations. It is open for both US and internationals. The link to their shop and the products used are all in the description box below. Also is the link to the next person in the hop. Don't forget to like and comment on each video and consider subscribing to all the channels in the hop. Here are a few more videos that you might like to watch. Thank you for visiting. Have a nice day.